The Berlin Wall, a symbol of division and unity. The Berlin Wall, German Berliner Mauer, was a fortified concrete barrier that physically and ideologically divided the city of Berlin from 1961 to 1989. It was built by the German Democratic Republic East Germany to separate East Berlin and the surrounding East Germany from West Berlin. From August 13, 1961, to November 1989, the wall stood as a boundary between the two parts of the city, lasting for 28 years. The East German government issued the order not to dismantle it until the fall of the wall. Its demolition officially began on June 13, 1990, and was completed by 1992. During this time, it is estimated that around 125 people lost their lives attempting to cross the wall to reach West Berlin. Some sources claim the number is closer to 200. Documents have revealed that the communist government had orders to shoot those trying to escape, though this was denied by East German authorities. After weeks of public unrest, on November 9, 1989, the East German government decided to allow citizens to travel to West Berlin. Thousands crossed the wall, greeted with celebrations on the west side. Within weeks, souvenir hunters began dismantling parts of the wall, and eventually, the entire wall was officially removed. This event paved the way for the reunification of Germany, which was formally completed on October 3, 1990. Background: after the end of World War II in 1945, Germany was effectively divided into four zones, each controlled by one of the Allied powers: the United States, France, Britain, and the Soviet Union. Although the city of Berlin was located in the Soviet-controlled part of Germany, it was also divided into four sectors. The occupying powers aimed to govern Germany, but with the onset of the Cold War, the Western powers France, Britain, and the United States merged their zones to form the Federal Republic of Germany, West Germany. In contrast, the Soviet-controlled area became the German Democratic Republic, East Germany. Differences between the two Germanys. West Germany, following a social market economy model, evolved into a capitalist state. From the 1950s onward, the country experienced significant economic growth for the next 30 years. In contrast, East Germany adopted a Soviet-style socialist economic system. While East Germany became wealthier than other countries in the Soviet bloc, it still lagged far behind West Germany. Attracted by the economic opportunities in the West, many East Germans began migrating to West Berlin. To curb this massive immigration, the East German government decided to erect a wall between the eastern and western parts of Berlin. The proposed wall. On April 1, 1952, East German leaders met with Stalin's foreign minister, Vyacheslav Molotov, to discuss measures to control movement between East and West Berlin. It was decided that West German citizens could enter the East only with a special pass. Stalin referred to the border between the two Germanys as dangerous and proposed a two-tiered security system. The first line consisting of East German border guards and the second of Soviet troops. East German Prime Minister Walter Ulbricht acted swiftly on this proposal, which received approval from Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. Initially, the plan was to erect a barbed wire fence to separate the two parts of Berlin. Construction begins 1961. 2 months before the construction of the Berlin Wall began, on June 15, 1961, East German leader Walter Ulbricht famously declared at a press conference, "Niemand hat die Absicht, eine Mauer zu errichten." No one has the intention to build a wall. This marked the first official mention of the term wall, giving rise to the concept. On August 12, 1961, East German leaders convened in a meeting at the Dulce Gardens. In the early hours of Sunday, August 13th, construction of the wall began. The wall encircled West Berlin, stretching 156 kilometers, with 43 kilometers directly dividing the two parts of the city. Fearing mass migration to the west during construction, East German military and paramilitary forces stood armed to guard the wall. Interestingly, Soviet troops did not participate in the construction. To prevent any part of West Berlin from encroaching into East Berlin, the wall was built slightly inside East Berlin's territory. Immediate reactions. The Berlin Wall's construction in 1961 had a profound impact, dividing families and isolating West Berlin within East Germany. Mayor Willy Brandt led protests against the US's muted response, which many saw as a political abandonment. On June 26, 1963, President John F. Kennedy visited Berlin to show solidarity, though earlier he had clarified that the U.S. would not intervene in East Berlin to avoid escalating tensions. East Germany called the wall an anti-fascist protective barrier, claiming it defended against Western aggression, though this was met with skepticism. The wall aimed to stop the mass exodus of East Germans, curb Western espionage, and block ideological influence, becoming a potent Cold War symbol. Official checkpoints between the two sides of the wall. 8 official crossings were established between East and West Berlin for specific groups, including West Berliners, West Germans, foreign nationals, and authorized East Berliners. These crossings also connected West Berlin with surrounding East German areas. Routes facilitated travel for West Berliners to other countries and allowed East Germans to enter West Berlin under strict conditions. A 1972 agreement even permitted West Berlin's waste disposal in East German landfills. Key routes included the Berlin-Helmstedt Autobahn, connecting West Berlin through Checkpoint Bravo to East Germany's Helmstedt. Additionally, there were 4 rail routes, canal crossings, and checkpoints like Friedrichstraße Station and Checkpoint Charlie for West Berliners entering East Berlin. Foreign nationals faced fewer restrictions, while East Berliners endured stringent checks, with pensioners being a rare exception. Vehicles leaving East Berlin were inspected with mirrors to prevent escape attempts. The Potsdam segment of the wall witnessed high-profile exchanges, like U.S. pilot Gary Powers for Soviet spy Rudolf Abel. The wall disrupted Berlin's transport system, dividing S-Bahn and U-Bahn networks. Many stations were sealed off, and West Berlin trains passed through East Berlin ghost stations without stopping. Escape attempts. Throughout the Berlin Wall's 28-year history, approximately 5,000 successful escapes to West Berlin were recorded. The exact death toll during escape attempts remains debated. The Checkpoint Charlie Museum director estimates 200 deaths, while the Center for Contemporary Historical Research (ZZF) cites 133. East German authorities issued shoot-to-kill orders for anyone attempting to cross, including women and children, with strict enforcement. Early escapes involved jumping over barbed wire or leaping from adjacent apartment windows. As the wall became more fortified, escape methods evolved. On August 15, 1961, East German border guard Konrad Schumann famously leapt over the barbed wire to freedom. Later escapes included digging tunnels, climbing ropes, hot air balloons, and even ramming vehicles through checkpoints. One notable escape involved a group using a modified sports car to break through barriers, prompting authorities to install metal bars and reroute roads near checkpoints to hinder such attempts. In another dramatic escape, defector Thomas Kruger flew a light aircraft into West Berlin, mocking the East German regime. Rescuing injured escapees in the neutral zone between East and West Berlin proved perilous. Despite minimal barriers between the neutral zone and West Berlin, it remained East German territory, and rescuers risked gunfire. A tragic incident occurred on August 17, 1962, when 18-year-old Peter Fechter was shot and left to bleed out in full view of the Western media. The final death at the Berlin Wall occurred on February 6, 1989. Fall of the Berlin Wall, 1989. On August 23, 1989, Hungary removed border restrictions with Austria, allowing about 13,000 East German tourists to cross into West Germany via Austria. By October, protests erupted in East Germany, leading to the resignation of longtime leader Erich Honecker on October 18, replaced by Egon Krenz. Earlier that year, Honecker had expressed hope that the wall would last another century. Protests shifted from calls to leave East Germany, we want out, to demands for unity, we're staying here, signaling a push for German reunification. On November 4th, 1 million protesters gathered in East Berlin's Alexanderplatz. Under mounting pressure, the Krenz government announced new border policies on November 9th, allowing East Germans to cross directly into West Germany. Miscommunication led to an announcement that these changes were effective immediately. Crowds gathered at the Berlin Wall, overwhelming border guards who, lacking clear orders, opened the gates. Thousands from both sides celebrated together, marking the unofficial fall of the Berlin Wall. The East German government later opened 10 additional crossing points, including the Brandenburg Gate on December 22, 1989. Visa-free travel between East and West Berlin began on December 23. Despite initial attempts to repair damaged sections, souvenir hunters made preservation futile. Official demolition started on June 13, 1990, and continued until November 1991. On July 1, 1990, West Germany's currency was introduced in the East, and the reunification of Germany was finalized on October 3, 1990. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to learn English through history. See you in the next one.